500. And I had such a wonderful time with Mr. Bill last time. I asked him very nicely if he would come and do my drink and draw this week. I did a great birthday party with Heather Chambers, and I was proud of that, but I wanted to keep the drawing thing going. So Bill said, yes.
How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing good. My computer's on my desk. I'm on my desk. We're good.
We're good. Okay. So a couple things before we truly begin this crazy thing. Your Kickstarter is nearly there. That's awesome, dude.
It is so close. I think right now, that's what I was trying to pop up on my screen here real quick. I think it's like 150 off or something like that. It's almost there for the funding part. And then hopefully we can hit some stretch goals. But if not, that's totally cool. I'm super happy that it's just going to.
Was this your first? Was this your first campaign?
This is my first campaign with Committed Comics.
Okay.
So, and this is, I think, Committed Comics. I think this is Tom's second campaign, I believe.
Yeah, it's his second.
Right. And for me, it's actually my second campaign involving Near X. As far as projects go and stuff. Thank you. The famous cat mouse has delivered the burrito.
Nice. Hi, Miss Cat Mouse. How you doing?
He's saying hello. She can't hear because I got the headphones on. But
come on in.
There's my daughter.
Hi, nice to meet you.
He's back here.
Yeah.
He says, "Pleased to meet you." All right. She says, "Yeah."
Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, sure. We're getting away now."
She's binging. She's binging WandaVision right now. So she's taking a break. She's actually coloring the Near X Zombie versus Cheerleaders #1 issue.
Nice.
So she's like 3 pages away from finishing her part of all the interior pages, and I'm working on coloring just the back cover, and I colored like the front cover. So that's what she's taking a break. She gets to binge WandaVision and have a burrito. That's her.
No, that sounds like a fantastic thing. I am binging on pizza, ladies and gentlemen, because we're gonna draw and we're gonna close the week after a very, very. I'm actually doing a stream tomorrow too because my Monday stream, unfortunately, had technical difficulties, so it would just get going in and out every time. So we're gonna be doing a makeup tomorrow. But it's been like this has been my passion.
I thought you were staying on theme. We talked so much about pizza last time we were talking. Is it a chocolate chip cookie that's the size of a pizza, or is it actually pizza?
That's actually pizza. Oh man, tell you what, the day may come when we meet, and if that day comes, let's just do it. Let's get like the biggest giant cookie thing ever. They can just god awful for scene, like obscene, right?
Done. It'll be an awful YouTube video of chocolate chip cookie carnage.
Actually, I think everybody will be envious of us because what'll end up happening and be like, dudes, like, why did you do that? And it's like, well, why didn't we do it? Or why wouldn't we do that?
I know.
If anything about
live the dream.
Well, yeah, no, it's it. I think the one thing, like, the glorious thing about now, but there's a lot of bad, terrible things about it. There's one truly glorious thing about it. Life is fragile, but that's also a great and wonderful thing. That means everything, like you have to seize the moment now, or you never will. Look, I don't know if you believe in God. I do. When I go talk to the
it's where I keep
when I go to the Almighty, I'm going to say, God, listen, I promised myself I was going to eat the world's biggest chocolate chip cookie with BillMaus. I was going to do it. I was going to make it happen no matter what it took, how it did it. I'm going to make this obscene cookie, right? Was it worth it? Yes. Yes, it was, because I actually went and did something. There is something about a follow-through, about the things that, like, again, not much in this life really matters, but I think your word, like giving your word and seeing it through and seeing where it takes you.
Yeah, that's satisfying. I mean, it's the way we treat each other and the way we interact with each other. I mean, that's really why we're here. This is, that's the biggest. At the end of the day, those are the things that matters. It's like, and God lets me draw boobs. So
yeah, I mean, that and you know what? I mean, good. Hey, listen, someone's got to do it. Someone has to do it. I mean,
I'm
might
not
as
qualified to do much else, so this is
What?
my place in life.
Oh, dude, there's so many.
It
Like,
is what
there's
it
so
is.
many things. There's so many things in life that are.
Mhm.
How do I put this? I mean, there are worse things, worse callings. Did you draw the best boobs you could? Yes, sir. I did the best boobs I absolutely possibly
Exactly.
could.
Exactly. He
Yeah,
designed the boobs. I'm just drawing them.
yes. No. But awesome. We did boobs and giant chocolate chip cookies in like 10 seconds. I don't know if we got any more talking material. Actually, we do. We do have some.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have some. A little bit. Your Kickstarter's nearly there. Like, it's like really close.
It's almost it's right around the corner. We're just a couple happy folks away from just getting it funded, and then it'll be smooth sailing. I think it'll be fun to watch it go a little bit higher, just because it's like it feels fun once it gets past that little initial bump. So I think this will be good. Next couple of days, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
We touched on this like when we were doing this last time. But I think this is something to be said about this. I mean, yeah, it's not with like a big company right now. Community Comics is a good company, but they're not a large company. But I think there's again, seeing the results of what you do is an amazing thing, and the fact that you have a dedicated group of readers that are willing to invest in your work.
Oh, that's what
that's gotta
be
feel totally rewarding for you.
Right. That's what I live for. That's my. I want to say that's my crack. That's my drug. That's my thing. Because I don't really do other than pizza. That's my drug. So
okay, I'm going to ask you the hardest question I'm ever going to ask you, my friend. This is going to be a hard one. Okay. Are you ready? Pizza or cookies?
Myself. What? Who? What?
Pizza or cookies?
Whoa! You're choosing between the two?
You had to choose.
One's the meal, one's the dessert. What are you talking
about?
I
know.
It's a set.
Normally, I would agree. I told you this had to be a hard question.
I know. The answer will completely depend upon whether I'm in dessert mode or meal. Right now, I'm in meal mode, and I think I probably had cookies today already. So I'm going to go with pizza. I have no choice because I'm in meal mode and I'm kind of starving. So I'm just like, no.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I was starving too.
That's okay. I'm about to be chewing on this burrito in a minute too while we're on here. So
So guys, we are going to be we're going to be eating, drinking, and drawing. I have to figure out what I'm going to draw though. So I'm going to actually. So I'm just getting started. I mean, my sophistication is porn stashes Lego style. So I haven't gotten like I'm still learning. I'm still growing as an artist.
It's all good. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, it's totally great. Like I said, and my sister, if you are watching this somewhere, somehow, some way, just keep this in mind. The next Lego one's on for you. I have a plan for you, my dear sister, and that's going to be you're going to get that. But that's down the road. So I have a couple things. Like the next drink and draw is going to be Mortal Kombat. I know the first thing I'm going to buy is actually color, like things to color with. I'm not sure. Like I do pencils. So what do you feel is the best? I've gotten different opinions. What's yours? For pencils, what's the best way to color?
With pencils, I would color with color pencil, maybe a little bit on top of pencils. If you use Copic markers, or if you use some type of other, Copic markers is what I've kind of stuck with lately. And I could color on top of light pencil with Copic markers, but if you're not afraid to ruin the tips of the markers, especially with the lighter colors, you can actually go over the pencil with the marker, and it blurs the pencil, or it drags the pencil.
Okay.
So if you want a clean color out of that marker ever again, you might have to switch tips and get a new tip on the marker. But coloring with markers, or you know what, if you colored with the markers first before you started sketching with the pencil, almost like just block in like some general shapes, and then go on top and do a more finished drawing on top of the marker, then you won't have to worry about ruining the tips of the marker and blurring and smearing the pencil lead.
So I will keep this in mind, because my goal for the next drawing bit I do, I want to actually experiment with color. Like I've done 2 pencil pieces. I'm proud of it. My pencils have gotten a lot better, but I'm looking at the fact that okay, my ultimate goal is to do comics for myself at some point. So I gotta experiment with color. Now I may not be like, the cool thing about color is you don't necessarily have to do the proper different shades, colors. Like you don't need that necessarily.
Oh no.
Right? But you do need to figure out how color works, and the best way to do it is actually to do it. So even
just to do it, you just jump in. You just jump in with both feet. Something else you could do too is I use airbrush paint as though it was watercolor. I'll take a couple drops of airbrush paint, like Badger airbrush paint, and put it in a little thing with a couple drops of water, so it's like really thinned down. And take a very wet brush, and if you have a pencil drawing, you can go over the pencil drawing with very thin layers of like washed out ink, and that won't really smear the pencil as much. That actually keeps it pretty tight. And you can have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, I'll have to try that. So okay,
it's really fun.
So I got 5 Mortal Kombat characters to try to do tonight. So I'm gonna let you pick. Cabal, okay, classic Cabal, Shiva, Kitana, Kano. What was the last one? Damn it, I forget what the last one was. Okay, we'll just pick from those 4. Kitana, Cabal, Kano, Shiva.
I would go Kano and Kitana.
Okay.
I like Kitana a lot.
Kitana is I mean she always was a sexy character. Like she's always been a sexy character.
But she was also fun to fight with too. It's like the whole.
Oh no, she was.
Yeah.
Melina was the better of the 2 in the original game. But over time, both characters developed a really cool style. So it was just really fun. So I'm gonna be going looking up MK1. Okay, it's Kitana. So Kano, MK1 or 2, and with Kitana, 2 or 3. I think we're just gonna go MK2. I think Mortal Kombat 2 is the way to go because it's the classic.
Right.
It's the classic way to go about it. I mean, if we're gonna do Mortal Kombat, we're gonna do Mortal Kombat with style and grace here. So we're gonna try Kitana, MK2.
Excellent.
Yeah, all right. That's what I'm gonna be doing, guys. So I'm gonna be doing
pencilality.
Yes, that's right. Kitana was always scary to watch, and she just did. Okay, so there's that.
I say I'm gonna put like one of those. I'm gonna put one of those department store security mirrors right behind me, so you can look down at the table.
Sure.
And still see me at the same time drawing.
Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's draw time. I'm drawing Kitana. So what are you doing tonight? Just let the audience know kind of what you're working on.
I am working on a current book deadline, the Nira X Zombie versus Cheerleaders issue that hopefully will be going to the printer tomorrow. We'll be uploading that all up. I'm doing the back cover to that book, and let's see. I could hold it up so that you could see, but it is on an iPad, so it's going to be a little difficult.
Give it a minute. Just let it sit for a minute. Okay.
Let it kind of settle in. There we go. Yeah. Now I can see. Okay, you can see her a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. You can see her.
I'm reviewing your book this weekend, by the way, so it's kind of probably up on my next.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, you have okay. We joked about the time travel thing, but
right.
You have a lot of fun with her. I guess the question is, do you realize how much of a kick you have when you work on Myra every time?
No, I do. I do. Nira. Nira.
Yeah.
I totally do. And I think some of the stories you could tell that, he felt like drawing that. That's why the story went that way or in that direction. Because that's what he felt like drawing, because it was Tuesday and that's what he wanted to draw. So it's nice to have that freedom, and it's nice to have to have a project, to have something that I regularly do where I can actually do that. Not that the other jobs are bad by any stretch.
Oh God, no.
For everything. Yeah, you have to have structure. You have to have, if somebody's telling a narrative, you got continuity. You have lots of things to worry about. And with Nira, it's just I just want the book to be a lot of fun. I do try to also keep things in line, try to keep some continuity, try to keep characters, if they've met each other before, there's that recognition when they meet again. There's things that carry through. But the book it's more important for me for the book to be fun and to be kind of in the moment than to really be too rigid with it. So and you could tell that it's like, oh yeah, he's in a playground. That's where he's at.
Yeah, your fun, like the fun you have with that book, is incredibly contagious. I mean, actually, that's probably, if you're going to steal a quote from me, I think that's the one you should actually steal. It is a contagious.
I like that. Yeah, that's the best I can hope for. That would actually make me super happy if that was just the case. If somebody reading it also had the same type of fun reading it as when I'm sort of drawing it and writing it and stuff. So
yeah,
that's how I end up writing it. I sort of, let me see. I could probably show you. Yeah, I'll show you. I'm rolling around in my chair here.
No worries.
This is what the issue looks like before I actually start penciling real pages. So I actually fold up the correct amount of sheets of paper here. So I've got the comic book completely laid out. Get in camera. I've got all the thumbnails and partial script, partial ideas of where things are going. So this is the whole book. And I keep on erasing it and keep on going over it, And if I don't like where it's headed, I will rewind, I will throw sheets away, I will erase stuff, I'll redraw stuff, until this comic book is the way that I want it to go. And it's like okay, this is fun, this is cool. Then now I'll actually start drawing the real pages and tightening things up and really getting down to the nitty gritty.
I love that you have an old school style like scripting. Like that reminds me. I saw once upon a time I saw Keith Giffen do a script of Magnus Robot Fighter, and the cool thing, like it's something very similar to what you just. Like thumbnails are generally a part. Like every artist I know that works in any capacity usually thumbnails the book. Because honestly, you really don't want to screw this up as you go. It's kind of one of those.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of work to go through to all of a sudden make changes. I used to buy those. Remember, it's not like it's an old thing or anything. Like you go to Office Max, you get those huge Post-it note bulletin board kind of things. Like you're doing a presentation. So I used to have one of those hanging on my wall, and then I would draw all the pages on that big bulletin board and then just look at them, redraw them, look at them. Sort of like the way you got storyboards for a movie, the way they just pin them up all on the wall. So that way you can just see all of them all at the same time. And I like doing that. That's a really cool way of doing that because you get to see an overview of the whole book all at once. But I like doing this a little bit better only because when I open up the book to the correct page, I could see how the page sits next to the adjacent page, and then I could see how how your eye is being drawn from page to page.
Yeah,
it's neat.
It's actually it's clever because you can actually look at the book and go, okay, this is going to work, or oh shit, this isn't going to work. This isn't what I thought it would be, and that's always it's always a good it's always good to have that base. Let's just let's figure this out. I mean, obviously your mood might change in terms of story time, in terms of the stories you tell, but but that all said, like you get a real clear idea of what you want, and then you're like, okay, now I can go to town, and there's a lot less mistakes when you get to the actual bigger work. It makes total sense.
Yeah, it's just building from the ground up. It's like and when you do have to make changes, erasing a stick figure, it's going to be a whole lot less.
Oh, it hurts far less. It hurts far less.
It's like, no, I really like that stick figure. That was my favorite stick figure.
Please don't erase me, Mr. Bill. No.
I'll save it for later. I'll save that stick figure for another story. All right,
Whereas
you're gonna have to forgive me.
She'd be like, "No, what are you doing?"
I know. So you'll forgive me as I bite into
No, we're
burritos
the
off
same thing.
camera.
Like we're at the drawing. I'm gonna be. We'll still chat because I think that's the fun of this. But chat and work and work and chat, and we're both hungry.
That's it.
We both have been working on our stuff all day. I did take a bit of a break in the middle. I played the new Magic the Gathering set. I got to
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to play that. I had fun with it.
Yummy.
Yeah. Although I don't think I have them down yet, I gotta say, hands are the shape on hands is deceptively simple. But in terms of an art style, deceptively simple. I mean, simple does not mean it's easy, like at all.
No.
Why?
In fact, the simpler it is, I think the harder it is to pull off sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, simple is the sign of genius. Like I've come to recognize the fact that if somebody has put together, wow.
Now doing something simple. See, when I first started doing work for money, as it were, being a professional, I was doing a lot of cartooning. I was doing caricatures. I was doing Saturday morning animation, and the simpler the character, the easier it is for it to be wrong because you only have one line that defines so much of what the angle of something is, or like the shape of a head, or the shape of an eyeball. That's like when I'm going through. That's why this zombie book is so liberating because I love drawing monsters. Monsters are lots of fun, and I feel like there's no wrong way to draw monsters. Like just make them cool. But then as soon as I get to the lead character, I'm starting to draw Nira. I'm just like, I got to draw the rib cage just like this, and draw the hips just like. And if I dent it, like all of a sudden she's got like a broken leg.
Yeah.
And it's very subtle. It's like the shapes are very subtle. So it's like if it goes off in a different direction, or at a different angle, or if you notice when you draw. Sometimes like your wrist has a certain muscle memory to it where it's just like the flick of your hand, and then sometimes that's the way your strokes will go. It's not based on the fact that you wanted the stroke to go that way. That was just the way your hand is designed to be angled. And sometimes you kind of fall into the habit of letting your hand do that stroke, as opposed to maybe doing the stroke in a different direction or doing it slower so that it comes out the way that you meant it to come out, as opposed to the way your hand wanted it to come out.
Yes,
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, there's a habit with when you draw. I'm developing.
Yeah, like a certain muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just there's also like an instinctual like I know how this works kind of deal, right?
Right.
Sometimes you're dead wrong. Like I'm trying this katana right now. I'm working on it, and I know like this is my first time trying her, so I know looking at it that I screwed up on some stuff, right? Because I can see like how I could just do little things. I also figured out a really neat trick for eyes, actually, which I'm although it doesn't quite work the way I imagined it to here because I still have things to learn. But
it's never ending. It's
yeah.
I don't know if I think most people run into this sort of thing where there's I mean I learn and I get inspiration from every artist that I see, whether I actually buy their work or collect them or not. If you see it, it gets mixed up. It gets put in the mix in your head as far as things that influence the way you do things. But there's certain artists that, like for instance, like J. Scott Campbell. I tried so hard to emulate the way he draws nostrils. You have no idea how much I suffered over nostrils. Like the nostrils angle just a certain way, and the way that he shades it gives it this little kind of a 3D little shadow type of look.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't think that that's a part of a woman's face that I would have been concentrating on for so much. But yeah, it's like concentrating on nostrils. Like different artists, I would like the way they do certain tricks. I try to incorporate the trick. If they have a trick that I want to kind of fold into the things that I already do, like hatching or a certain type of shading or a certain type of brush stroke that just looks really cool. And when I incorporate it into my stuff, it looks nothing like how they make it look, but it does make my stuff look better, like just having that extra trick.
Yeah. Well, I'm like there's some things I've never done before, and so every time I do something like this, I learn something each and every time, right? And so katana here, my first one, is not very good. I got some basic ideas. I got her shaped right, but I did a lot wrong. And I mean, her figure, especially in MK2, is crazy. It's crazy interesting how her proportions are. I think it's like, whoa, right? Right. Also, one thing I have learned, hair is surprisingly hard.
Hair is hard. Hair takes a long time to master.
Yeah. Hair is actually ridiculously hard. I learned that. It was like, again, it's the things you don't expect. Like, I was able to draw Jon Stewart better than I could draw a Lego figure. And I couldn't, and I ultimately it comes down to the fact that I recognize the fact that it, for me at least, right, it has everything to do with the fact that, there we go, that's the eye. Got that one figured out, kind of, sort of. But what I figured out, oh, that's interesting. So you go like that.
All right, I'm putting them both in. Can you hear me?
I can hear it, yep.
I don't know if you can hear me. My computer froze on this end, so...
No, I hear you just fine.
You can still hear me and see me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm not going to reboot it for a couple minutes until I see that
can you hear me?
Working or not.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I all there? Hi. Can you dance? I'm dancing. I'm dancing. Can you hear me? No? Oh no. Oh no. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I just sent. And he's disappeared, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to keep drawing katana for the moment and kind of just seeing how it goes. As I was saying with my friend before he disappeared out into the aether, that's her block. And you go like this, and that's her mask. Okay, I figured out how to draw a mask. That's kind of cool. All right. I could see you, I could hear you, but that was it. Like, you couldn't hear me. It was one way. I can't hear you right this minute. It's your audio's off. I see you. I don't hear you. Okay. Come on. No, I still can't hear you. Can you see? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. I still cannot hear you. Check out audio settings. Because it looks like your microphone's off. Probably a little button in the corner says the microphone's actually crossed out. No? Okay, so so Bill can see but can't speak. So at the bottom of my screen there's a microphone and there's a camera. Right? So my microphone's there. It's perfectly on. Right? So This is interesting. The adventures of technology. The adventures of technology. It's been that kind of week. Let's see here. So, okay, he's got a plan. He's putting the air. I'm going to just do the commentary on this, ladies and gentlemen. Bill,
right, we'll see how much. Right,
I hear
can
you
hear me
now. I hear you now.
For some reason, the microphone is totally on my screen, but I don't know why the microphone.
Because your microphone is connected to your headphone speakers. I know exactly what the problem is. Like, you have a headphone setting on your computer somewhere, and right. So what happens is the microphone, you're hearing everything.
Well, I got a little bit more juice in I got a little bit more juice in these, so I'll just leave these in.
Okay.
Because everything is on. Even when I had these unplugged, everything was still on. Like my settings were on, and my little button was on, and I'm into my settings. I'm into my sound settings for input, output, and all that good stuff. And all right, it's being a butt. It's all right. I got some more juice in these. So if they go dead, I could charge them for a quick 5 minutes, and they pop right back up again. So.
Oh, cool.
So at least.
So I actually figured out how to draw a mask now. Now I actually understand how the art of that a little bit here.
Drawing that mask is not easy.
No, well, you have to draw. Here's the thing: you still have to draw the nose. I think that's the thing that throws people off about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the nose. And hair. I found the secret to hair is very light shading. So what light shading does is it creates those lines in hair that are all part that feel like part of hair. Now, if I had a marker, I'd obviously do some more stuff with it, right? But the fact that I don't, it is limits me to some degree.
Gotcha.
Right, but the trick
every time I hold up the burrito, I'm gonna do this.
You got this. And that's for me. Wow. I can see why in the 90s to some degree there were complaints of unrealistic stances. Because the picture I'm drawing Katana looks like it really would hurt. It looks like it really, really would hurt.
But that's the beauty of drawing things. They don't understand.
There is no pain. There's no pain.
There is no pain. Or maybe art is pain.
Art is pain. Well, for me, art is just fun. Right. For now, I am having fun learning the craft.
Yeah, that's the thing. Art is life, man.
Yeah.
It's like this is a certain expression that we're experimenting with right now, but there's life is all art.
Yep.
Even the fact that you mentioned God.
Yeah.
He's I think of him as he's just an artist.
Yes.
I don't think he ever stopped. I don't think he ever stopped creating.
No, actually, he creates all the time. Like he's a fucking show off.
It's a whole thing.
Actually, God's a show off, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just
no. If you can hook up a universe, that's bragging rights. That's bragging rights for weeks.
Yep. Totally.
I think the thing that people don't realize is that he's not David Copperfield. It's not a puff of smoke and there it is. He's very practical the way he creates, I think. And that's the way that's the way people should approach art when they draw. It's like it's very practical. You don't just get that picture that you're trying to. You got to put in all that work. You got to put in all those little stick figures and construction lines and erase all the bad parts.
See, I think God's a show off myself. That's what I think. God's a show off, and it's okay. I mean, here's the deal. Every blade of grass is different. Every sunset rise is different. Every like
I mean, that's a lot of work.
No, it's a lot of work. But also
and then they expect things from him. He's busy. He's we're lucky we exist.
Sometimes. Well, I know some people would argue that one.
It's a good point. Sure that's a good point. Sometimes we're unlucky we exist.
Yeah. I tend to look at the concept of God. God, like we live in a world. Like I think the best evidence that there is a God is really simply this: we live in a world of variety. Like we live in a world of infinite variety, infinite perspective. The world is simply bigger than all of us can possibly imagine.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
But that's okay. I've learned something. Right? I've learned something. I have learned how to draw cleavage. It is easier. It's easier than I thought it would be in one way, and in another way, it's also harder because now I look at cleavage and I'm like, there is a way to make this. Like I can see why sometimes it's blown completely out of proportion. I get it now. Because there's definitely a it's just one of those things I've learned. So katana number 2, is better than 1. It is better than 1, but I still got I still got some shape things to learn. Right. I have one called Fat Katana, which for her is actually
Fat Katana.
Yeah, awesome. Fat Katana. I have the cleavage I figured out how to do cleavage. That's about all I accomplished here. Actually, I also figured out mask. So I figured out how to do mask. And I figured out how to do cleavage, kind of. I think cleavage is going to take some practice. It's just one of those things because it's about making them kind of pronounced without actually it's probably really simple, but it's just like one of those things where I haven't completely mastered the shape of it. So I'll figure it out. Hey, I'm learning how to draw boobs. So I feel that's very appropriate being on the show with you tonight.
Thank you.
Yes.
You should definitely appreciate the simple things in life that bring happiness to the world.
That's right. No, and you know what? I mean, boobs are nice. I don't think anybody's ever I don't know too many people who have a problem with boobs. I'm sure they exist. I just don't want to know them.
Now we've said the word cleavage just enough that I'm wondering if like a place like Cleveland could benefit from maybe a new slogan or maybe like an art school just because they're in Cleveland.
Cleveland, come for the
School
boobs.
Of Cleavage.
Cleveland, come for our boobs. Cleveland stands for cleavage. We're secretly the land of cleavage. Yeah. Okay, listen. If someone actually advertised like that, I would check it out. I mean,
I would at least visit and get a postcard or something. It's like there's got to be
Well, I'd want to see if it was real. Like I just would want to say, okay, listen. You piqued my curiosity. I'm not gonna lie. My curiosity is completely piqued. Right? Do I buy it? Probably not, because honest to God, it. But you know what?
Well, we still agree on the whole idea of how you treat people and being good to one another and all that sort of stuff. So having fun. There's a difference between it's the people that can't draw the line, no pun intended, that can't draw the line between the type of fun that you can have with art and the way you portray the human body. And this is fun. This is like I watch a lot of murder mysteries. I'm not out there murdering people, so if you watch and read comic books that have I don't want to say sexual content, but they're sexy characters. They're drawn in an idealistic way, but it's art. You're appreciating the human body on a certain level that I think is cool, but it can be taken too far. It can be taken to the point where you're disrespecting somebody or making people feel uncomfortable. So
here's what I don't know much about women. I say that with this. With this is what little I have learned about women. Okay, this is what I've learned. Okay, women do not mind when you notice that they're hot. They don't mind that. They mind if that's all you notice.
There you go.
That when you get your that's when things happen. That's when feelings get hurt.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, what if somebody came up to me and said the only thing I like about you is that hat? Like, if you don't wear this San Diego hat, it's like all of a sudden it's like there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to look at. You know, it would make you feel. Yeah. It's like, hey, I like this. I like this hat. If you notice the hat, I'm very, very, very happy about the hat. But if it's the only thing you notice about me, it does make you feel like, it makes me feel kind of worthless because like it's only the hat. The hat could show up without me. And it would be a better, well, it's and if you pick on anything of a person and that's the only thing you like about that person, I bet it would bother them,
I remember a drive home one night with a friend, and I was, and his fiance was a little drunk, and we were talking about the fact like she was well endowed. She's well endowed. She's a very pretty woman. And she was like, she's talking about her boobs, and the fact that that's what people notice. And I mean, amazing woman. She's one of the most capable people I ever had the privilege of meeting. But it does. I mean, it makes you wonder what some women go through when you see kind of this whole, okay, it should be a little farther. That's how it works. Okay, I learned something just doing this one. That's how you do it. It's all in. It sounds really simple when you look at it in hindsight, but it's amazing just what doing things teaches you. But I reckon like that's the thing. Like I look at a character like Lara Croft. Okay, Lara Croft.
Sure.
It's meant to be a sexy one. Like she's the hot fantasy that I remember growing up to.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Back in this is better. I'm not quite there, but it's a lot better. Okay, that's a lot better. And all I did was begin to figure out how to show skin. Katana is teaching me how to be naughty. I approve. Anyway,
you see.
But no. One of the things I've and so when I see a lot of women I know feel really treated like that's all they are. That's when it sucks. But I also realize this too. I mean, let's be honest, okay? I mean, there's a lot more women in comics than that today, but there's still a lot of guys in comics too. And let's be honest here. Now, it shouldn't be the only thing they're here for, but I'd be less than honest. I mean, hell, I had comic book crushes on some. Like, I mean, hell, I thought Katana was top of my high school. I'm not gonna lie about that, right?
Well, you're still human. I mean, you're still.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a difference between because everybody gets those reactions and those feelings and those those stray thoughts. It's how you act upon them that defines. Yes, I'm over here being Batman. It's like it's what I do that defines me.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
But it's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Like, look, I'm not dead. If I think actually, you know what I find? I get away with a lot more telling a woman she's hot than I do when I don't. Because if I try to be, I find it's just better to be just open and honest about your feelings. You're respected a lot more for that than not. Right? I find that's the truth. And again, that doesn't mean like you're going to act on what you're saying or doing. but there's a level of, again, I think people just appreciate it when you're genuine. And
being open and honest and genuine carries so much weight.
Yeah.
Because so many people, so many people try to be something that they're not, to be cool or to appear to be better than the people around them. That it's appreciated. It does carry a lot of weight, and I think it's cool when people realize that.
Yes. All right. Round 2 with the cleavage. Let's see if I can figure this out. The rest of her,
cleavage.
Cleavage. Yeah, round 2. Right. No, it's
I'm doing the most boring part, but it's the most important part of coloring, which is drawing a mask around each major shape, so that way I can go in and actually color and paint.
Yeah.
But without doing that, everything will be everywhere and take forever. So it's like,
yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. I for me, like what I've learned and discovered about doing what I'm doing is like I've learned a lot about the simplicity of just trying. It's again simple. The lesson I'm learning here tonight is simple things are kicking my ass. Right. It doesn't mean, and again, I knew going into this there'd be some things I do that just would not. I'm not ready to draw. Like an interesting thing about drawing Katana here with like showing the outlines of the fact that she has breasts on her thing. It's really easy to do like a cutoff, like a cutoff, like if she was wearing like one of those, like it's really easy to make it look that way without even trying. But at the same token, it's like it's not quite right, but I'm learning something doing it. And considering I've never done an anatomy class, I figure, okay, well, hey, you know what? you don't have to get this all right tonight. Like even if it doesn't work, right?
Well, art is fun. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. So there are times and places where if you don't get anatomy just right, it looks wrong and it looks incorrect, and people they'll complain. But especially in comics, entertainment, video games, I think stylizing your work and making it really fun is more important than Plus, the style that you're drawing it in might not be my style is not conducive to proper anatomy at all. My anatomy is all over the place, and half of it is made up. It's I know how the stuff is supposed to be drawn, but it looks too stiff and boring for me to draw it that way with my particular style.
Yeah, and as for me, what I've learned tonight is right, the secret is
the secret sauce.
Secret sauce, Yeah, Katana is someone I wish I had colors for, because there's a lot of layers to her character, to her look. But I mean, I tried Fat Katana, which is like.
As I slide out of view so I can have a bite of burrito.
That's right. Hey, listen. Burritos are important. But I also, I feel like I'm closer. Like in doing this, I've got a lot closer to what. I'll even show you. Like, I'll show people.
Yeah.
I'll show. So this was me trying to get the basic shape right. This is Bat Katana.
There you go.
Yeah. This is me trying to get the basic shape right. Better. This was better. Now see, I learned cleavage. I learned the secret to cleavage, which is really just really a very, very simple little thing.
But you're playing with the pose too.
This is where colors would help, because I could actually make the suit and then use like a black marker to highlight, to emphasize those things. That's where shadow I think really plays a role.
Exactly.
And this one's not. Did I got it there? This one's better.
There we go.
It's not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but I figured some stuff out, right? And so.
But one of the things I love seeing is that progression from one sketch to the next.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see where you've thought things through and improved on a thing, and then you think things through and improve on a thing, and then that's the journey that just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Yeah, no,
that makes me happy.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not going to pretend I'm good yet, and that's not really what I'm doing. It's funny because I write all the time. Like I'm a writer, right?
Yeah.
Right, and the thing for so this has been like for me, almost like learning a new language, right? I'm not I'm at the point where I'm at the point where I'm starting to conjugate verbs. It doesn't mean that means my sentences are still very cross. The line work needs some work, and I'm definitely going to be doing some things with anatomy and stuff down the road that I'm gonna have to at least do some things on anatomy to figure some stuff out. But but and again, having more tools would definitely help. Like I could see it definitely like color would makes katana pop. I just like learning this, like just doing the katana tonight. I recognize he pops with color. Like you need color. However, the thing I am actually very proud of, I think I got hair figured out. Hair is just hair is almost
it's almost like it could be any shape it wants to be, but it's for it to be what you want it to be in the art is like it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice, just like the anatomy. Just like everything else.
Yeah,
it takes a little bit. Yeah.
No, I think the thing about hair is hair has to look like it has lines in it. Like that's the thing about hair.
Right.
You have to have the lines in there to make it really, 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 really feel like hair. Now the trick is, so the more lustrous the hair is, the harder it is to actually make it real, because it looks right. It looks less like hair. Now, obviously, when you're doing a more animated style, when I look at say, like Wonder Woman, like this came out. I have to read this.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you look at her hair, okay.
Look at her hair.
Look at her hair, so sexy.
Like, oh my god.
but what they did, but the thing is, what really makes the hair work is the coloring. They use the coloring to differentiate the different layers of the hair, so it's lighter and darker as you go on. And I've learned something very valuable about this. Just hold on a second here. I was seeing someone found our like people are finding our stream off and on. It's kind of fun. People are, and we're getting shared and stuff too, which is kind of cool.
Cool.
But one of the thing I recognize with hair and art and like I'm starting to see like I have to get color. Like that's literally the next step for me is I got to get Copic markers and I got to experiment with color and create new marble paintings, like create new marble masterpieces until I figure out what the heck I'm doing.
What I like to do too, to play with when you're thinking, like do gestures before you actually do the pose or you do the actual piece of art. Like, let me see where I'm at on the camera here. All right, I'm over here. Okay, you can look over my shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can see that. So if I'm going to draw like let's just say just like a bust of like a top portion of a character. It's like, all right, we got, generally speaking, we got the head, and I'm being scribbly totally on purpose. I just want to get the general shapes. Like I sort of know what a chest and a rib cage might look like. And let's see, make sure I'm still on camera here.
Yep.
And just really like, okay, like instead of just leaving this as a circle, I'll draw a line sort of defining what, almost like a beach ball.
Yep.
Do that sort of thing. And I'll just keep on really loose, until I get something.
That's
then I might go, then of course, you got hair and stuff like that. And just defining the general areas. And of course, boobs will be resting on top of that rib cage here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I see what that's for now. I get that.
See, so it's almost
Yeah.
like you're
Okay, I understand.
it's like you're sculpting.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a solid block of, in this case, paper, and it's like, and I'm scribbling until I get the arm the right size that I want. Like I start way out here, and it doesn't matter if I even start like way off, like off in the corner. It's like I'm working my way towards, and then I make this one dark. Or I'm working my way towards the place where I want the finish line to sort of be. And it's like, all right, I usually have that little line in the middle, kind of defining like the muscle in
I
the
see how
front.
it works now.
Yeah, and you just keep on working it until, and then maybe throw in some shadows, but just real loose, so that way you can, you know, you can throw it away, or you can, like her collarbones might be a little darker, so that way you could see where things are. And then when you're done with the scribble part of it, that this, you know, you can go on top of this with a piece of tracing paper if you want. I'm doing it with a dark marker just so you can see it on the camera.
Yeah, no worries.
What you want to do is you're doing all of this specific work with a pencil very lightly, so that way you can actually go in on top of that pencil. And you know, with something, you could go on it with darker pencil, or you could go on top of it with a marker or some ink, and then you can erase out all of this mess, and then you're left with the drawing that you wanted to sort of get towards. But it's just scribble. It's just, you know, nothing too, you
That's
know.
amazing, though.
You really, the basic structure. I mean, I put a lot of dirty lines all over that, but the basic structure is okay. I got, you know, I want the hand on the hip. Maybe I want this arm. Let me see where I'm at here. I want this arm like, you know, like somebody doing this, like they're thinking, right? So it's like, all right, well, if I sort of just define where the eyes are gonna be, and this is where their mouth was gonna be. So it's like, all right, so I know their hand has to be up here somewhere. So I'll just kind of like square that in real quick, and then it's like, all right, well, the arm can only go but so many different ways at this point, because of where the shoulder is and where this is. So you just, okay, that's where that, you know, and then you start building up your lines on top of that. You know, so okay, so little collarbones. Maybe this is where the chest muscles would end, and you know we get the stomach here, and you just keep on darkening it in. You're sculpting. You're actually sculpting the drawing out of nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just doing gestures. It's just what it is. We used to do those in art class back in college, where a model would stand in front of you, and we'd have like literally 10 seconds to like draw as fast as we could, like. And of course, it's not going to be a finished anything. It's just going to be a gesture. It's just going to be just an impression of their general shape. And then we practice those. You do those over and over and over again, you know, just like different ways. You know, it's like, do a guy like this, do a guy like this, do a guy like this, you know, just real quick. And then once you do it, just leave it. Don't erase it. Don't work on it. Don't do anything. That was it. That was you exercising those muscles in your brain to see things in a certain way that it'll help you later.
I learned a ton with you doing that. That was incredible. Thank you, Professor Bill. No, I mean, no, I'm serious.
No, anything, if I have anything helpful at all, it's like I appreciate that. You appreciate.
So
it.
I gotta say,
totally
like,
cool.
like for me, this has been very. I've been nothing short of amazed. Just the sheer amount of people that have agreed to come on to do something like this with me. It's actually kind of like, for me, on my end, it's kind of like. How did I do this? Right? Because you're an amazing talent. I've had so many amazing people just come on and say, you want to just come draw, hang out.
Well, first of all, you're cool to hang out with, so that's a big plus. So I'm happy to do it like that. Second of all, you're very good at doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that it's a no-brainer. I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. Your audience should be exploding. Your audience should be huge.
Yeah.
And I want to end. That's what I see for you. Especially because you're so consistent and you're putting out content.
Well, I'm just trying. Like this has been like this part has been brand new. So I've been trying different things. But one of the things I'm a big fan of comic storytelling in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it occurred to me, like, this is just a small thing I recognize.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying writers don't do heavy lifting; they do. But what I am
without the writing, there's nothing else. Yeah.
But what I have noticed, this is in my humble opinion,
mm-hmm.
illustrators are sold short very much in the comic industry. I think writers do some lifting. I'm not saying we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys really put the day in. Like,
I have an opinion.
Sure,
and it might not be correct. As far as I can almost pinpoint when the comic book industry, not necessarily illustrators everywhere, but at least the comic book industry, just because I was in the middle of that in the 90s, I can almost pinpoint the time that companies in general, larger companies, DC and Marvel and the larger comic book companies, they stopped promoting their artists and writers like rock stars. Not to say that there is like, oh, I draw, so I should be like, like I'm Van Halen all of a sudden. It's not that, but they used to promote. It's like, oh, this is a Batman book that's coming out, but this is the artist and the writer that are on this Batman book, or whatever book it happens to be. They used to promote it like a concert, like this is the band that's playing, And ever since when my crew when they formed Image, they took all of their fans with them from their big companies, and they formed Image, and it was great. That was that's rock and roll, right? So, but I think the larger companies got scared of promoting their talent over their content. See what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm going to make you big and famous, and you're just going to run away with all of the fans that we helped you garner, and you're going to take them with you somewhere else, and you're going to do your own thing. It'll make way more money. So they stopped promoting artists like artists. They started,
but it shoots them in the face on the.
It does, yeah, exactly. In the long run, it really shoots you in the face.
Because here's the thing, okay? I'm speaking as just an independent publisher. I've been published traditionally. Small company, doesn't matter, right? I got traditionally published, and I'm grateful for that company that gave me that break and that opportunity.
Sure.
But the fact is, okay, so every time I release a book now, all my backlist comes back. The fact that I'm going out and ranching on my own is actually to the benefit of the companies. Now, I don't necessarily think that you should be giving the company going out the door a giant finger. Although
never burn a bridge. Well, look at it. Think of it as like a movie industry. You got a famous actor. He plays a certain kind of role, right? And he works for different movie studios, making movies that are like actually for companies that they're competition to each other, that sort of thing. But you still promote the movie, whatever movie it happens to be, as starring this guy, this woman. You're there first of all because like you're a fan of that particular actor or actress, Whereas I think a big company, like a big comic book company, like they're promoting their book as this is a Batman story. It doesn't matter who drew it, because you love Batman. You're going to buy it because it's Batman or Spider-Man or Superman. They're going to promote it based on the strength of the character and the content, as opposed to the strength of, hey, you happen to be collecting this particular artist. He's drawing this book for us. You should buy like 20 copies of it. And we used to. I mean, that was the 90s up and down.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, I think, okay, we talked about this last time. We're not gonna touch on this more than just say. I'm gonna say one word.
Sure.
Distribution, right? We talked about that last time. No more needs to be said because we all know. We're watching what's going on, and we're just going like this, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And all I'm gonna say is, DC Comics, if you are listening, your heart is in the right place. Your head. He can't say it, but I can. There's a reason you have a counter somewhere. We'll just leave it at that.
There you go. I got this burrito here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my burrito.
Yeah, your burrito, it's okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to show you my favorite. This is my favorite. There's a balance with it, okay? I'm a Ninja Turtle fan, okay?
Oh, awesome. Yep.
Yeah, see, I got the latest issue right here.
Cool.
But making me read this issue, like read Ninja Turtles. This is, and I think this is how it should work. I think comics have to balance. There's a balancing act you have to do in comics, especially for the big two. Like, look, Batman, Superman, Captain America, Avengers. All these properties have been around for a very long time, and they generate an obscene amount of money. Especially Marvel right now. If you look at everything they do, all the
of course,
obscene amount of money. You should keep promoting the work. However, and this is what I think, it would benefit everybody. Because here's the thing, I know this too. If I ever got into like the big two, let's say I got into Marvel, DC, or this place,
oh sure,
right? It would be for a limited time, and I don't say that with hard feelings or hostility. We all have a time. We come,
right,
and then we have time we go. I've told my story. Maybe it just doesn't fit. Maybe I don't do well. Maybe I do great. But you know what? It's just for the best. They got to do what's best for them, and I got to do what's best for me. And that's
things grow that way.
And there's nothing that's a normal thing, right? That is totally a normal thing. And I don't think I had a talk with Chuck Pannone, and he's right. No comic book creator should going in solely just to work with the big two. You should want to work for them.
Sure. That's always a goal. Yeah. I mean, it's like.
Everybody wants to find out what that's like, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Even somebody like McFarlane.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish he drew Spider-Man forever. You know, I would have kept on. I would still buy
them. No, totally. No,
but there was a season. He drew Spider-Man for a season, and it wasn't because he grew out of it or anything like that. He started doing Spawn. He started branching out. He's got a toy company. He's got there's life takes over,
happens, right?
So like you say, there's a season. There's a season that you're able to do these things.
And that's for everybody, right? You're doing like ultimately we are going to start and end in an independent spot. But here's the thing, okay? BillMaus gets an audience. He does. You can look at his Kickstarter right now.
I have an audience.
I have an audience. and he's done great work with a great book, and he's been doing it for a very long time. And you reach a certain group of people, and that's incredible, right? And those groups of people don't necessarily get access to the comics. So if the comic book comes, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You would be much more inclined to promote a book from the big two if they would promote you, and everybody would be helping everybody.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
I mean, there's so much room to do basically everything. You promote the artist, promote the writer, promote the book. Of course, it's like you're not going to promote the artist and the writer as being more important than the actual subject matter of the book or the character or the IP.
But you should also there's also if you look at a book, how books are promoted.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you start, you got that especially you see this in science fiction and fantasy. You'll see the big giant title and the little name of the author when they're just getting started.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Right?
Yeah. Insultingly small,
Yeah. But then you get to a certain point with certain authors. Like if I go to the bookstore right now, when I can go to the bookstore, we'll just depending on where you're at, right?
We'll
I can go.
Yeah.
If I look at Brandon Sanderson, he keeps coming up on the show. Brandon, if you're listening, I want you on the show. Damn it, I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. But anyways, but the thing about him is you go into Brandon Sanderson, Bunglee, Pat Rothfuss, George R. Martin. Their names are huge. Stephen King. Their names are very much and then the title of the book is not so important because there comes a point when the name of the person carries sales. Yeah. And I think, and this is where I think there's a balance there. I always think properties should be promoted and respected. I don't think you should ever, and honestly, it is DC's and Marvel's and all these other companies' best interest to continually to promote their properties. However, however, I love Riley Rossmo. I love they doing Harley Quinn. Really great if they promoted that as a big deal. I would love it. I love Gail Simone. Even Gail, as big as she's become in comics, still sometimes does not get the front billing on some of the books she works on. Now,
and that's what I want to see because there's enough room to give artists top billing.
Yeah,
and still promote the book as being the important thing.
I look at I think, and this is it's such an easy one to say because they've done very well up until this point, and damn it, I want to know what happens next. Sega. Hear me, Brian. Keep on. Please finish your story. I want to read it. But
yep.
And Viola Staples, same thing. the fact is, okay, and I love what they did there. Flannel gets the top billing, and then it's Brian K. Vaughan, and I think it's a really cool. They have a really cool dynamic. They switched. I think around at issue 36, and it's been great. The fact of the matter is, like, I know that's a Flannel Staples book. I know that's a Brian K. Vaughan book, and Saga is an amazing. And even though I think towards the end of its run, it never was a bad book, but I think the fact that it's gone away,
right,
to its benefit, because it's like I kind of want to see more, and I haven't seen more in such a long time.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah,
a bit,
you know. So
you don't want to wait too long.
No, well, no, there's no. But
I've been waiting for my next issue of Battle Chasers for 20 years.
I'm sorry.
I know, because he's not planning on drawing it for me.
Bill, it's okay.
I know. I need to.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. But no, it's such a. It's really cool. I think what you're doing, like, right now, honestly, is what you should be doing right now. I think the fact that you're promoting your works, your properties, and it's in the long run, I'm gonna give you a compliment, a very nice compliment I think I can give you. I hope someday when I really get rolling, when I try to do comic books, I hope my books are as fun as yours. That is honestly
you honor me. Thank you.
Yeah, as fun as yours. Yours is fun. Like, I actually really. So I can only do
not sophisticated, but they're fun. I appreciate you saying that. I don't think of them as very sophisticated. The plots aren't, like big twists and big, turns and things like that. They're pretty predictable, but they're fun. I try to make it a fun ride. So the fact that you even say that is. I hope not, because I have a good time with it. Yeah, no. Yeah. Not saying it is a negative. So accepting the compliment for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, no. You write a fun book. I think that's the one thing I will say about your work is it's fun, and I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's just it's so easy to root, and like I said, I will do this in the write-up. It's just so easy to root for somebody that you can tell is genuinely like. So the other Kickstarter book I'm going to next month is Rich Perotta's Incantessi. I got to draw with him, and God, you guys have so much fun, and I can tell, I can just see it, and it's incredibly, it's appealing. It's so much fun to like. It is such a refreshing thing to see people literally enjoy what they do. I think that's one of the big things I love doing. Why I love doing this show is because I meet people that do that all the time, and it's such a cool thing.
It's relief to me when I see somebody who enjoys their work, and it actually doesn't matter what it is that they do. If I'm going to the pizzeria and that guy wants to be the best pizza tosser in the world, I'm just like, yes. It's like, that's the guy. It's like, and that makes you feel good, and that makes it's contagious. And I like the fact that, because it's very easy to be contagious in a negative way, but I love the fact that it's also easy to be contagious in a positive way. So let's keep things rolling in that direction.
I kind of my sincere hope for this year is I said this at the very beginning of the pandemic, and I'm saying this all the way through. Even in this time, we can chase joy, and I think what I love about, like I said, I've enjoyed about the comic community in this time, and especially the guys who are doing crowdfunding and stuff like that. Guys are making some of the best stuff. Like, it's almost like when needed, it's like you guys are I think some of the best books in comics are you guys right now, because you're all trying different things and doing different things.
I just love that there's a place for us.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's, and I didn't really want DC to have problems distributing books right now. I didn't want to have like the larger books take hits in order for us to have space to grow, but I am grateful that there is this niche that we're able to grow, and because of technology and because all of us are sort of forced to learn some new tricks and do some new things in order to, and I'm hoping that once everything kind of goes back to normal and everybody's doing their thing again and we're doing shows again, that this actually needs to stay.
It will.
This aspect of it, and I think it will totally, because it's such an easy way to interact and stay in touch with everybody. It makes the world smaller. So
I think okay, so here's the thing. I like doing this. but I would kill to do this with you at a bar or a coffee shop or a quiet place. There's just you hang out.
Yeah. Well,
That will never.
What if we were able to do it together in a place and actually broadcast it to people who
that
live
would
in
be
different states?
amazing.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah. That would be the next step. That'd be
and
growth and evolution of it. Yeah.
So my goal now, like seriously, my goal for the rest of this year and next year is save up for a car, get my license, and go across the country and meet people. Now I'm crazy, and I'm not really worried about. Again, I recognize how fragile life is, but that's why I want to really do this now, because this time, as interesting as it is, as scary as it is, will never come again. And it occurs to me, seeing the world now, like I'm not saying like I'm flying, I'm not, no, I'm like just going cross country, slowly at my pace, doing my thing, interacting with people who just want to interact, knowing whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like that is an amazing thing to do right now.
Yeah,
you're literally watching the world transform around us. Most of us are in a bubble, and I think and honestly, I think that's part of the appeal for it for me right now too, especially is there's I want to see what's outside the bubble right now. It's not the same right now, and like I think the second half of 2021, I do see it as like springtime, summertime. There's going to be like, regardless of what happens with the vaccine, regardless of what happens, I think most of us are tired of this stuff. So I think things are going to change. And I think for the second half of the year, we're going to start seeing more interactions again, one way or the other. And even though we might not be out of it by the end of this year, I do feel we're going to be moving in the direction of leaving it. I don't.
Yeah, well, we'll see that transition start to happen. I think.
Yeah. So and when it does, I think that unique window is going to things will change, but I do think the one thing that is going to stay, like the fact. And like this is the one thing I am truly grateful for. I got to meet people like you in this time. I never would have met you. I never would have met Mog. I never would have met Christina Z. I never would have met Kaylin Smith. I never would have met Michael Oden. I never would have met. I would have met Chuck. I would have met Chuck. He's everywhere. That guy's everywhere. But I would not have met the people I had met if this had been a normal year.
Right.
So I truly do believe that that this time has been a blessing. It's given an opportunity for people to actually connect in ways that might not have been possible normally. And I do see the virtual world existing in some form or fashion. I don't think all of us want to be at doing this all the time. I think we've all kind of come to that point where it's like, fuck that. But but the fact of the matter is, we took for granted prior to it that like just how much we can communicate with each other in this forum, in this place.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally
and
agree.
so learning.
And I feel the same way. I feel the same way about how this has actually changed the way that we interact with each other. I wouldn't have met you.
No.
No. And I would have maybe there's so many people that I would have seen at a show and said hi to at the table, and that just would have been the end of the interaction.
Yeah.
So
I feel like now when I go to shows, I'm going to be getting a lot more hugs to people. It's going to be like amazing how many people actually know
because
me
you're
now.
a real person. It's a tactile handshake and a shoulder check. It's like it actually means something now.
Yeah. But
it's nice to have this. We're going to go out. We're actually going to see each other like actually in person and actually interact. But it's nice that we can always meet, no matter where we all live. There's a hub where we can all meet and do the virtual thing too. So it's going to be it's just going to be another tool. It's going to be another form of communication. So instead of
that all said, giant so pizza and cookie.
Giant cookie, pizza-sized cookie.
That's right, with slices. Your daughter can have some. Your daughter's cool enough; she can have some.
You know what? My daughter is allergic to chocolate.
Really?
I am serious.
Oh.
I am very serious. So unfortunately, I'll be eating half of that cookie.
Okay.
But she'll film it. She won't be mad at me.
So here, wait. Is it just chocolate?
She's allergic to chocolate, and also there's a seafood allergy. Also, that's like a built-in component.
Okay. So I have an idea. Because I always feel it's really, really wrong to eat in front of somebody that's something really enjoyable that they can't.
Well, if you got her a pizza, that would actually negate the whole thing.
I mean, I was saying like that, right? I actually was going to ask if she liked oatmeal raisin cookies because that seems like a good substitute in the event of like she can't have chocolate, but she can have oatmeal raisins. Well, I mean, she can
as long as they're not made in the same factory as package. Okay. Yeah, because cross-contamination is she'll actually get sick.
Okay, no, I get that. So,
yeah.
Okay, so
I know. We got to be careful.
So that means okay. So for your daughter, okay. So this is what we'll do: giant cookie for us, pizza for your daughter.
Word.
And wait, milk or milkshake?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her on that day. She's up for either.
Okay.
But the milkshake, is like if I get a milkshake from somewhere, if they serve chocolate milkshakes, I can't get a vanilla shake from there because, see what I'm saying? We have to travel. We have to travel to a Chick-fil-A where only vanilla shakes are made. You see, man, life has its complexities. It's okay.
Yeah, it does. No, it things you take for granted. Well, we'll figure it out. But for us,
we'll figure it out. We got some
giant cookies, gooey chocolate.
As long as there's a pizza and as long as there's a cookie, we're good.
Yeah. We'll be good. We will be good. All right. So I'm gonna try one more drawing of Katana. And how are you? Or where are you with your deadline? Are you good?
I am charging my iPad back up because it died.
Okay.
And I probably will have to sign off pretty soon because I'm going to have to start.
No, that's totally
uploading.
That's totally fine. Actually, why don't we do one more thing before we go? Just one last thing.
Yeah.
And then we can totally wrap this up. Where's your Kickstarter at right this minute? I'm secretly hoping.
I will get on my phone and we will see where we're at because I am.
I think that's a good way to wrap this up. Actually.
Yeah, I think that would be perfect.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where we're at. We are like $110 away from getting funded. So it's almost there.
So
I'm a happy camper.
I'm not going to jinx it, but I hope it goes because honestly, so here's what works to your favor. Even if something goes completely wrong, the fact that you're so close to being funded right now, usually on the last day, people just
and we still got 40 days left to go on the campaign. So it's
pretty good. I think you're in a comfortable spot. So
I'm gonna a couple of family members, just give them the old rough 1-2.
It's good, but
no, we should. And we're debuting a couple new. There's a couple of covers that were not on the campaign yet because they weren't finished just yet. So BillMaus actually has one of the covers, and she'll probably be posting that in a few days. She has like a work in progress cover, and then Thad Rhodes has another cover.
I can't get them. I can only get one, and it was like,
oh no, you got the one. You're good.
Yeah,
you're good. You've honored us, my friend. It's like, you're fine. You're fine. I don't expect anybody to be like multiple buying and
I know, but I like
get the thing that you want to have, and it's
I know. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was really, really tough because yours was good. The there's a $25 one that was really good too. And I can't remember his name, but it was really, really good. It was like, damn it. I want pick one.
and I'm just meeting a couple of those artists now for this campaign, so I don't know the names right off the top of my head either. I have to go back to the campaign again. I'm just like, oh, okay, this one, I got you. But they did a really good job. Bill McKay's work was.
That's who I'm thinking of.
He did a great cover. He really pulled out his A game for that piece. So I'm super happy to have his art on there.
So you want to see something cool before we just washes up for the night?
What's that?
Yeah. So someone was watching our podcast. This was an interesting subject from Comic Book Podcast. I'm inspired an illustrator. This information is helpful. This is someone from across the world actually watched the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's what I love to hear. I love to hear that.
All right, that's my high. Let's do the official wrap up. Why don't you do the wonderful pitch that is your Kickstarter right now? Because I know it's just getting started. There's a lot of cool things you guys are working on. So
it's just getting started. It's Nira X Reborn #2. Every tier is going to receive issue 1 as a bonus. It's a free bonus from the publisher. So every tier is going to have issues 1 and 2. If for some reason the stretch goals actually reach like the $20,000 or $25,000 limit, it's issue 3 is also going to be thrown in as just part of the set. Everybody gets it for free.
Yeah.
But if not, as long as it's funded, everybody gets issues 1 and 2. They have some other goodies and covers like Bill McKay, Mog Park. We have a cool 3D mouse pad that is one of those little Japanese styled booby pads. But it's fun. I've always wanted to do one of those things. It's a very guilty pleasure.
That's super cool.
But yeah, the campaign just started. If you go to BillMausArt.studio, that's my webpage. That links you straight to the campaign. If you don't want to actually do a search, you can just search right on Kickstarter for just Nira X Reborn, and you'll find it. So it's right there. So that's what's going on right now. And in the summer, we plan on doing Zen Intergalactic Ninja. It's going to be Bounty Wars. It's written by Steve Stern, drawn by moi, and that's exciting because I've been working with Steve now for 30 plus years on different things. So doing Zen again is a lot of fun. That's where we're at.
I'd love to have okay. So here's the thing: when you guys are ready to do Zen Intergalactic Ninja, you want to do a Zen Intergalactic Ninja drawing night?
Oh yeah, of course.
Does that sound fun? Does that sound fun?
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, last Zen question, then we'll wrap up.
Gotcha.
Comic, yes. Video game someday again?
If I can swing it,
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can swing it, it's like I'm looking at video games, I'm looking at statues, I'm looking at action figures again. So so I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed. So.
All right. So this is Bill Maus, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great guy. We had a fun night. I learned how to draw boobs. It's wonderful, and it was great. Life was awesome. Born stashes last time. This time boobs. I have become something of a, I don't know. I might surprise my sister with something for her birthday. I might just surprise her tomorrow or something like that. Just But beyond all that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much I have one more podcast and I get to take a nice blessed day off. John Maven's coming back tomorrow to do our podcast again so that we do it right instead of all the interruptions or whatever happened for whatever reason last time. If you want to support this channel, follow me at twitch.tv/JustJoshinPodcast. I'm on YouTube as Joshua Pantellaresco. You can find me, hit the like and subscribe button. I want to thank Bill. Go check out his Kickstarter. Bill is an amazing creator. He has a lot of fun, and you will too reading his stuff. All right, guys, stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.